guys, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Robbie Cassidy, and today we're going to talk about looking at your health holistically. Okay, so I've done a podcast on this, or similar podcast to this in the past, and it's something that I wanted to come back around to because it's something that's always evolving, and it's something that I'm learning new things about every single day. And because of that, I kind of want to, it'll be a podcast I feel that I'm going to return to as I go through this journey at different times, and just to get a better idea of how my mindset is developing around it, and what else we need to look at. So if anyone wants to go back, it's number maybe 18 to 20, and I would have done a podcast on it before if you want to listen to that, and then this one as well, and see what the change is. And it's, as I was saying, it's something that's going to keep evolving, and as I learn more about it and as I work with more clients, I get a better understanding of what it is we need to do to improve our health holistically, and how to look at it more holistically. Because really what it is, or what a holistic approach is, it's a comprehensive look at health. Okay, so you need to start integrating all aspects of your life to get a better quality of life, to have better well-being, to be in a better position to set yourself up going forward. And then we are looking at longevity as well. It's not just about how old we live. It's not about the amount of years in your life. It's the amount of life in your years, I guess, is the saying you can come back to. So before I jump into that, I want to talk a small bit about what I'm doing at the moment with clients, and see if anybody is interested in it. You can get in contact with me. But basically at the moment, what I do is I work with people who have long-term injuries, and who are struggling to get back to an activity or sport that they enjoy. And that's the basis of it, really. So if you are out with, let's say, back pain, if you're out with hip pain, if you're out with knee pain or shoulder pain or whatever it is, and you've been out for months and you want to try get back to it, or it could be years. You could have stopped doing it 5 or 10 years ago just because there's a fear there of getting back into it. If that's you and you want to talk more about it, just send me a message on Instagram or send me an email, and we can jump onto a call. We can chat about it. If it's the right option for you, we'll go forward for it. If not, at least you'll have a better kind of idea of what to do yourself. I'll give you a better idea of what you can be working on in the meantime. So that's what I do at the moment. I'll be taking on more clients. I've been fairly booked up the last while, so I'll be taking on more in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, if anyone's interested, you can go on my Instagram. I have an inquiry sheet there. Just fill in your details and we can get straight into it. But to jump back into the podcast today, as I was saying, what does a holistic approach, what does it mean? Well, when we're taking a holistic approach to health, as I said, it's a kind of, you need to look at it like take a comprehensive look at your life and your health and what's contributing to it. Okay, so that's why I put in that quote about it's about the amount of life in your years as opposed to years in your life, because you want to be able to you want to feel fulfilled, you want to be able to do everything that you can during your life. You don't want to be avoiding certain activities, you don't want to be avoiding things that you like to do because of pain or because of sickness or because you have that fear of re-injury, anything like that. And you really want to have the opportunity, if something comes up, to go at it and take it on with both hands, take the bull by the horns, I guess is what it is. So there's another saying, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will have to make time for your illness. And I think when we look at health itself and what it is, and health is different to everybody. Health for me is being able to do what you want, when you want to do it, and however you want to do it, and being capable or being confident that you'll be able to do it to your best ability. Now, it's also having healthy relationships. So there's a physical aspect to it, and then there's an emotional, a cognitive, spiritual aspect to it. So there's also having, as I was saying, having loving relationships, feeling secure in yourself, feeling secure in your body and secure with your family and your friends. And you will always have conflict, but knowing that in the background that you can always trust the people in your circle, because you can't trust everybody, you can't get on with everybody. And having a secure set of people that you can get on with and you can trust will go a long way in improving your well-being, improving your overall quality of life. other signs of health then would be, I would say, would have a healthy relationship with your like work and life balance, and that you aren't just taking time to work all the time, and that you are actually having a good bit of life in your years. And I guess how we do that, or how that integrates into your own health, is that if you are dissatisfied in what you do on a day to day, and you don't have any purpose, you don't have any joy in what you do, that will reflect in your body. It will reflect in your pain levels. It will reflect in sickness levels. It will reflect in a lot of how your body, I guess, organizes itself. So we need to take control of that as much as possible, and we need to look at what we can do to improve our standard of living. So I guess when we are doing that, I think to take a holistic approach, to just look at Western medicine and say that this is the way forward, I think we would be wrong in doing that. Western medicine has been huge for us in that it's developed vaccines. It's even at what's called a washy word at the moment with people. Obviously, some people don't like it, some people do, but in a general sense, it's developed vaccines that have cured multiple diseases, that have eradicated diseases. It has developed likes of, let's say, penicillin or antibiotics, things that can attack different viruses, things that can attack different bacteria in our bodies and help us. I guess it does attack, I guess is the word, when you look at Western medicine. It does go to destroy stuff, and that can be good and bad. Now, I feel that we should definitely, like, it's been getting a bad rap in the last while, in that some people say, well, we have to look at another way. We need to look more, let's say, towards Eastern medicine and what they do. And I think we do that. I think we do need to look at that a small bit more, but there is so many benefits to it, and our hospital systems in general, even though you can abuse the state of the system in Ireland if you want to, or you can abuse how things are overcrowded and all that, but in a general sense, and other parts of the world in America with the price of medical health, it's crazy. So I think if we do that, if we look at it a lot, and if we can take our time to actually appreciate the fact that we do have those available to us. A lot of countries in the world don't have those same facilities, and if we take that into account and look at how well we've done up to this point, we haven't been doing that bad really. So I think you need to integrate Western medicine into it, and you need to look at what they are doing. You need to look at the research that they're putting out, because it does help to direct our approach to health. Now, there is obviously parts of it that it overlooks, and parts that are that I don't agree with in a lot of cases. I think there's definitely a put a band-aid on it kind of a style in some situations, and that people are just given different type of antibiotics for no reason, or not for no reason, but as quick fixes. There's a lot of quick fixes, and I prefer not to look at that route, especially when it comes to orthopedics, especially when it comes to my side of things, in that people go get surgeries for things that they don't have no need in the world to get surgeries for. Like, let's just a couple of ones I was going to throw off that usually work better with conservative treatment would be like bulging discs, like back pain caused by that. Other people get surgeries for like rotator cuff repairs, let's say a hip labral injury, a shoulder labral injury, or if you could get a meniscus injury in your knee. All of these things that even though in radiologically, or when on signs, on radiological signs, let's say MRIs, you can see that the cartilage is damaged, or there's a tear in the cartilage, but that doesn't mean that it's an issue. That doesn't mean it's giving you pain. And as counterintuitive as it sounds, if we just go straight in there and we look for a quick fix, and we go in and we cut it out, well, then we're getting, or stitch it up, or whatever way you want to do it. What we're doing is we're overriding the body's natural system to healing itself. And the body is an excellent healer. That's what it's for. Without physios, without doctors, and that we've survived for thousands of years before this, millions of years before this. And the body has developed in a way, or has evolved in a way that it can nearly always heal itself. So we do need, obviously, other forms of medicine, but we also not need to look at what we can do to heal ourselves before we look at what other people can do to heal us, or what other interventions there may be. So I think integrating Western medicine with Eastern medicine and different alternative medicines will give us a better view of what we can do, and will give us a better idea of how we can improve our own health. Now, when you look at Eastern medicine, there's a I guess bias towards balance, I think is what now, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's definitely a bias towards balance and living a balanced lifestyle, and that's in terms of balance with your stress and your recovery and your life and your relationships and your alone time and your time with people and all of that together. That there is definitely a balance side of things, and that's where that yin and yang comes in, yin and yang comes in, is that you're always looking at how you can how nature balances things, and how there's always an interplay between one side and the other. And you'll see that when you look at anything in general. If you take too much from one side, the other side will kick back. And I think when you look at whatever, if you want to look at, first one that comes to mind now that probably a lot of people would know about is like climate change. If you're looking at that at the minute, that all the taking and not giving enough back is probably causing the climate to speed up in a way. Now, I'm not well versed on it, so I won't dig into that anymore, but I have a basic understanding of it. I'd say the same as a lot of people, but there's people that can argue both sides a lot better than what I could, so I'm not going to jump into it and risk being called out for being a climate warrior on either side of the fence. But if we don't look at how we can find balance in our life and find balance in our health, well, then you will always be chasing the next big thing, the next new tool, or the next surgery, or the next medication, or passive modality like thermoguns, like these massage guns. But I guess they work for some people and they make you feel good. But yeah, so we need to integrate that Eastern medicine into Western medicine and then the alternative medicine as well. And I think when you're doing that, and when you take a better idea of, or you get a better idea of what Eastern medicine is and what the alternative medicines are looking at, you'll get a better understanding of how your environment is affecting your life and your health. And then on top of that, how different beliefs that you have actually affect your life and your health. So environment is a huge one, and I think it's something that's overlooked by a lot of people. So when we look at how environment is affecting our health, well, you look at different, I guess, I don't want to say indigenous populations, but different populations of people and how they have developed differently. Okay, and if you look at, let's say, the Eskimos have a layer of blubber. They have a thicker layer of blubber around their body to be able to withstand the cold temperatures, or the freezing temperatures of the Arctic. And if they hadn't developed that layer, they would not have survived as well. Okay, so that's just one idea of how environment affects us. Look at people who are in Africa with darker skin. They have a higher level of melatonin, not very rarely get sunburnt, you could say, and they can handle higher levels of heat because of that. Okay, so our environment is going to dictate how our body reacts to different situations. And if we look at, because our body is obviously well able to adapt, that's what it's built for. It's built to adapt. So if we're looking at our environment, that's on a general level of, or I'm saying that's on a huge scale of evolution, where well, really it's the other way around. I guess we a lot of us got whiter because we moved north away from the hot temperatures, and we didn't need that melatonin as much, or not melatonin, melanin. Jesus, hopefully no one holds me to that. So we didn't need it as much. Same as we stayed moving north, then we hit the Arctic and we needed that extra layer of blubber or fat to keep us warm. So that's on as I said, a large scale, evolutionary scale, where you're looking at hundreds to thousands of years or more. But when you look at it on a smaller scale and you look at it on a day-to-day, how is your environment affecting your life? Well, I guess we can tie into it two ways. We can look at it in the beliefs and attitude side of things, and we can look at it physically, how it affects your life. So physically, if you're in an environment with people who, or yeah, if you're, I'll go this way about it. If you're in an environment with people who, like, let's say your family, who have a lot of pain, who struggle with a bad back or bad knees or bad hips, and it's kind of a hot topic all the time, that's going to change the way you hold yourself. It's going to change what your beliefs are. It's going to change how you think you should move and how you should think you should behave. And then on top of that, your body will accommodate you in that it will be more likely to feel back pain or feel knee pain, feel hip pain. And because of that, then obviously you have to, without changing those beliefs and becoming aware, I guess, first of your environment, it's very difficult to target that and to fix those issues. And a lot of the time when people jump on board with me, they have these ingrained beliefs, and we're just trying to break it down in little situations. Well, like, and it's not that it's like me. It'd be as handy as if I could just tell you, and all right, your back pain is because your father had back pain, but that doesn't change the nervous system. The nervous system is still very sensitive to back pain. So unless you take control of that, it's going to be very difficult to change it, okay? So you can change your beliefs and attitudes, and then that in time will change your nervous system. But there's quicker ways to do it, and there's better ways of doing it as well. And obviously through exercise and through breathing, you can have an effect on it. So I think that's a really important one is let's just kind of, for yourself at the moment, take a look around. How is your environment affecting your life and affecting your health? If you live in an environment that's not secure, if you live in an environment that people are more aggressive, or if you live in an environment that people are friendlier, you're obviously more likely to be like that. Okay, and that's changing the way you think about things. It's changing your beliefs, and it's changing your behaviors because the people around you are like that. And to fit into that environment, in general, you have to conform with the values of that environment. And the opposite, you always have outliers as well. So you're going to have the complete opposite thing in an environment as well. And those outliers at times have to do with just the way nature works, in that nature is always looking for balance. So how would you start to look at your health more holistically? Well, first you need to become aware of what's affecting it. You need to become aware of your daily habits. Are they improving? Are they disimproving your life? Do you spend a lot of time on your phone, wasting time, let's say, just mindlessly scrolling? Do you spend a lot of time in the evenings? You just go home and watch Netflix all evening? Do you spend very little time with family and friends and a lot of time by yourself? Or do you spend a lot of time with family and friends and very little time by yourself? Okay, so these are the different habits that you need to take control of. Do you get in enough steps every day or exercise each week? Do you do activities that you enjoy, or do you get stuck in a routine or habits of things that you don't enjoy? If we're not looking at the smaller things that you do on a day-to-day, it's very hard to change things on a grander scale. So by just taking note of things that you may see yourself doing, and an easy way to do this, to start off with it, I would say would be journaling, where you're writing down and you're kind of writing on stuff about what you do, what you do maybe at the moment that you don't enjoy, what you're doing, what you do enjoy, maybe some things that you feel that you need to change. Everyone's form of journaling is going to be different, but if you do take the time to do it, you'll find that you'll be a lot more aware of what's causing you grief and what's causing you maybe what's making you angry what's making you sad on like a smaller scale, what's affecting your mood. Just by reflecting on it, you can figure out what's affecting your mood a good bit better, and then you can start to, as I was saying, you're aware of it, then you can start to make changes. But if you're not aware of it, it's difficult to make that change. And then I guess another thing that I always try to push with everyone is your body is extremely adaptable and strong in the positive and the negative. If you are around negative people all the time, you will be in general more inclined to be negative. Okay, and there's a great saying of you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with most. It's a saying in business. I'm guessing it's saying in life. But if you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with most, do you enjoy the company of the 5 people that you hang around with most? Because you're always going to be taking stuff from them. And then at the same time, you're going to be attracting those type of people to you. So look at the type of people that you're attracting to you also. Now, by doing this, you can, as I was saying, you can start to change it because you're becoming aware of it. I think it's a saying that I've been thinking about the last couple of years. A bit, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with most, and making sure that your circle is where are the type of people that you want to be with, and the type of people that you want, or the type of person that you want to be, is a great way of doing that. So that's a very, I guess it's a simple way of looking at it. It's an easier way to look at it, but it does play back into the fact that if you're with people who make you feel secure, if you're with people who make you feel safe, who you enjoy their company, if you're with people who push you to progress, if you're with people who challenge you, keep you disciplined or are disciplined, well, now when I say these, I am naming values that I guess that fit with me as well. So they might not be everyone might have different ones, but they will. I want you to think about the 5 people you hang around with most, and are they the type of person that you want to be? Now, as the same thing goes, then again, you need that balance, and you need that. There's going to be a few outliers. There might be one cracked person in your group, and that is in some way you want to be as well. You don't want to just all be all no crack at all. Like you need some bit of an outlier there also, and you do need outliers in your life because they're the ones that have an impact on your life also. So when you are looking at that, and I guess to kind of bring it all the way back around, why am I looking at this? How does this associate? How does this line up with holistic health? Well, holistic health is a comprehensive approach to health. It's taking everything into account. So if you're not taking in your friend circle into account, and the way their attitudes are and the way their beliefs are as well then it's very hard to change your own ones. And then, as you know before, your attitudes and your beliefs dictate what you do on a daily basis. So they'll dictate your habits in terms of, will you exercise more? Do you go to the cinema? Are you more inclined just to go drinking 4 or 5 days a week? So that's how it comes back to your health. Okay, so that's I know I went off kind of on a tangent, but I do need to bring it all back again. Is you need to really take care of these things if you want to look at it. Take a comprehensive approach to it. So I guess moving from there, what we can look at is little simple tips that you can do, or you can include, to improve your health holistically. And this podcast isn't everything you need to do to improve your health holistically, but it's just another viewpoint on it. So think of it in terms of, first off, I want you to think of your health in terms of survival and what contributes to your survival. Well, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you look at his hierarchy of needs, you have physiological needs, you have safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Now, in the physiological needs, and what I'm coming back here to is survival again. It's physiological needs, you need air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and in a general sense, you need to reproduce. That's what your genes are there for. You don't need to reproduce, but it is under the physiological needs. Safety, then you're looking at personal security, so how secure you are in your house, your home, in yourself, in your family, in your friends, your employment. You're looking at resources, you're looking at your general health, and you're looking at, do you have a safe place to go? So do you have a home to go to and a roof over your head? Then outside of that, you need to look at love and belonging. So that's the next level. That's friendship, intimacy, family, and a sense of connection. Now, when you start to go into love and belonging, you start to, I guess, dig into that a small bit more. There's loads to that. There's the emotional side of that. There's the spiritual side of that. There's the cognitive and the physical side of that. And all of those are intertwined to give you a better quality of life. So that's why it comes back to your relationships again. On this level, you really need to take care of it. And the thing is, safety and physiological are at the bottom, but they do tie into the other ones. You will feel a lot safer if you're with people that you're safe around. You will feel more loved if you have tight friendships, if you have people that you can rely on. You will, like family, as I said, sense of connection, that ties into even the spiritual side of things, is that what you're doing is for a greater purpose of you are, I guess, trying to connect with your family, connect with nature, connect with the people around you. And as I kind of dig into it more, it's something that I'm realizing with clients a lot more, is that it's on a rest week, where before I would have said, right, we're having a rest week, I just want you to avoid your activities. What we do now in a rest week is I said to them, okay, I want you to get in contact with a friend that you are close with. I want you to go on a walk or go on a hike, or if there's no one available, you have to still maybe go to a place that you always wanted to go to. Might be go to the cinema, it could be go on a date, it could be anything like that. But it's trying to include all these other aspects into their health and into their well-being and into their life. It could be, let's go back to an activity you haven't done in ages. Go throw an axes. I don't play a bit of ping pong, whatever it is. Get back at it. But it kind of broadens our horizons of this. What we are doing together is not just to do with health, or it's not just to do with mobility, and it's not just to do with injury rehab. It's about getting a better lifestyle and getting a better quality of life set up for yourself, so that you won't worry about your body and you don't worry about will it hold up, because you know that you've everything taken care of. And if something does kick up or something flares up or something breaks down, you will have a better understanding of how to fix it yourself, and you'll know what you have to take care of. Usually things happen in line with something else, like a flare up, as I said. Usually that happens when you're highly stressed and you're under a lot of pressure and you're feeling fatigued and tired and you're not enjoying life. That's usually what causes a flare up a lot of the time. And obviously there's other sides to that as well. But when it does happen, you can take a step back and look at these needs and see if you are fitting or ticking off all the boxes, or ticking off the majority of boxes. Just above average really is all you have to do. Esteem then is respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. And when you are looking at people who are struggling with an injury for a long time, they do struggle with self-esteem a lot. They do struggle with their status. They used to be, a lot of the time, they used to be a really good sports person when they were younger, and now they've fallen out of it a bit, and they feel like they're not that same person, and they feel like their confidence is lacking when it comes to it, when it comes to trying new activities or sports, or when meeting people. They're lacking confidence because of this pain. So because they're lacking confidence then, and they are fearful of re-injuring themselves, Jesus. What you'll have then is that they will lack freedom, in that they won't go do activities with friends and with family, because of the fact that, well, I might re-injure myself, I'm not as good as I used to be. I was once very good at that, and now people probably think I'm still at that, and I haven't done it in so long that I don't want to try it out in case I get found out. All of these things will come into it, and I hear it a lot with clients in that they struggle with these things on a day-to-day. Of, let's say a friend says, okay, let's go for a hike next weekend, and they say, well, actually no, my back is flaring up and it's been kicking up and I have a lot of pain, so I'm going to skip it this weekend, but I'll go next time. And then there might only be 2 trips like that a year, and they miss both of them because of that. Okay, or family or kids might say, let's go for a swim, or let's go for a run, or let's kick ball around, but they're avoiding it because their knee is hurting or their hip is hurting. And as I said, how many contacts is there? How many times do you have that opportunity to do that? So how many times does everything align so that you can get that done, or that you can go and enjoy yourself? And that's why it does give you the freedom. When you have that confidence in yourself and you've taken over everything else, it gives you the freedom to get back and do whatever you want to do. And then self-actualization is the top level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And self-actualization is, I guess, the desire to be the most that you can be. So this is something that I think plays hugely into all the ones below. So your esteem, your love and belonging, and your, I guess, your safety and physiological, they have to be taken care of. But having the mindset that you can be whatever you want to be or do whatever you want to do goes a long way in helping in improving, I should say, your quality of life, the life that you live, your well-being, your confidence, your self-esteem, your, I guess, respect, your status, all of these things, your recognition. Being the best you want to be is a thing that I always strive for, and I always ask my clients or anyone that jumps on board with me to strive for as well. And it's something at the very bottom of the consultation sheet that I send out when people jump on board is, what is a big, hairy, audacious goal? Something that you said that you wanted to do, but you've never done it. And in a general sense, what I'll do is we'll start to set it up so that, first off, they don't have to go for it. It's not something that they have to do. But I will structure it in that we're looking at the bigger picture here. Okay, we're going to get you back. We're going to get to pain. You're going to get the injury right. We're going to get rid of that pain. But we're going to start working towards something that you want to do and something that you want to get back to. And the reason being is that you always want to be progressing in life. You always want to be getting better. If you're not progressing, you're falling behind. I know it's a very sports statement or a business statement, but it's a life statement for me. It's a value that I live by. So I think, and I'm biased in these things, so if you don't agree with me, I have no problem. But you get in contact with me, tell me why you don't agree and why you feel that it's wrong. And I'd love to chat to you about it more. But I feel that we do need to progress, and I feel that we do need to always be looking at what we can do better for ourselves, for other people, for our community. And by doing that, then you will never get stuck for purpose. You won't get stuck in a hole because you know why you're doing things. And that ties into that spirituality side of things, about a connectedness and a I guess, a role or an idea that you have, your life has a greater value than what you do every day. And I think if we do look at that, if we do take care of that, we can find that in general, you will have a better quality of life. You'll be more connected with people around you. You'll be more connected with nature. You'll be more connected with your values. You'll take the time to recover. You'll take the time to rest because you know what you've done before. You know that, okay, well, I was doing a lot last week and things were mounting up, so I'm going to take a couple of days off now. And only by, I guess, covering all the other side of things, you'll come to that conclusion that we are looking to improve yourself, whether it be skills, whether it be how you deal with other people, whether it be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever way it is, I feel that we should progress. And when you're living in the developed world, we have so many opportunities to progress that I feel that you're missing out on a lot of life in your years, or putting a lot of life into your years by not progressing and not looking to do other things and improve yourself. So that's, I guess, guys, that's everything that I wanted to talk about today. How to look at your health holistically, or why you should look at your health holistically, or what you could do to look at your health holistically. Now, I understand that went down little rabbit holes, but I hope people have a better understanding of the point of view that I'm taking on this, in that when we are looking at it holistically, you do need to take everything into account. That's why it's a holistic approach. It's not just the physical. It's not just the mental or the cognitive of what you're doing on a day-to-day. You need to look at the emotional, you need to look at the spiritual, you need to look at how you fit in your community and how you fit in your friend group, who your friend group are, and how they're affecting you. If you don't look at these things and how they affect daily habits and what you do in a general sense, let's say each month and each year, and how you're fitting, or how you're fitting more activities into it, now you're doing more to progress, then you can get caught in a rut and looking back on 10 years and say, geez, what did I do for that time? I don't remember what I did. Did I enjoy it? Or was I just going through the motions and going through work? So I think it is something that everyone can improve on. It's something that's, as I said, it's evolving, it's improving. I'm getting a better understanding of it myself, and I really enjoy it. And I hope to follow up with this in a couple of weeks, or maybe half a year or a year's time, with another podcast, and have a different perspective on it again. But I'm going to leave you on that, guys, for today. I'm going to leave you on the fact that we want to look at how we can fit more life in our years as opposed to years in our life. And it was a theme running throughout this podcast, so I think it's only fair to finish it on that. As I said, guys, at the start, if anybody is struggling with an injury, or struggling with confidence, or struggling with, let's say, self-esteem, or fearful of re-injuring themselves, and they've stopped doing things that they love, get in contact. Send me an email. If you go on my Instagram page now, you can send me a DM, or you can actually go into my bio. I have a link in my bio that what you can do is write, it's like an inquiry sheet that it goes through all the questions to set up a call. So whatever's easiest for you, but get in contact. And my email is mobilitytutor@gmail.com. Website is themobilitytutor.com. And I also have blogs up in there where I talk about similar topics. So check that out. And the very last thing I'd like to ask you to do is to join my newsletter. I put a newsletter out every Friday now, where I go into detail and I talk about different things. This month's topic is recovery. It's October, just in case anyone doesn't know, is recovery. I haven't decided what next month will be, so if anyone has ideas, let me know. And within that month, that I'm going to put out 4 newsletters breaking down different things. So check that out. You can sign up on my bio in Instagram. And so if you just click in the bio, there'll be a link to sign up to the newsletter. But that's everything, guys. I hope everyone is well. If you can please subscribe to this on iTunes, Spotify, add a 5-star review if you found it was helpful. If you add a comment on iTunes, it just helps with ranking the podcast that bit higher. Also, if you know someone who's interested in this, or interested in any of the services I provide, please send them on this podcast, or send them on any podcast that you found was beneficial to you, because it goes a long way in promoting the podcast. So thank you so much, guys, again. I hope everyone's doing well, and that's all. So have a good one.